A very good evening to everyone. I'm Srijana Khaling, Assistant Professor, Department of Sociology, Sikkim Government College, Burtuk, and I'm here to present on social institution, kinship. So let's start with our lecture on kinship. Kinship, relationship by blood. Abercrombie et al. Says that the social relationship deriving from blood ties and marriage are collectively referred as kinship. So there are two types of kinship, that is consanguineal and another is affinal. So out here I have given the symbols like circle depicts woman or female, triangle depicts male, equals to depicts marriage, and this linear form reflects siblings. So out here you can see this male and female are married and they have their children, they happens to be the siblings. So consanguineal kinship, the kinship that is tied by blood. So out here you can see the relationship between these siblings, or you can see the relationship that is tied by blood between the mother and son, or mother and son, or the father and daughter, or mother and daughter. Okay, so these are the consanguineal kin. Another is a final kin. A final kinship is a kinship where the relationship is tied by marriage. Now the degree of kinship. Under the degree of kinship, you can see there are three types of degree of kinship: primary, secondary, and tertiary. Again, under primary, secondary, and tertiary, there are primary consanguineal, primary affinal, secondary consanguineal, secondary affinal, tertiary consanguineal, and tertiary affinal. So consanguineal and affinal, I have already made myself clear that consanguineal means blood ties by blood, and a final means ties by marriage. Okay. So primary consanguineal kins are those kins who are directly related by birth. The relationship between parents and children, okay, and between siblings from primary kinship. For example, mother and daughter, or mother and son, father and daughter, or brother and sisters, brother and brother. It can be anything that is primary consanguineal. It is directly primary consanguineal with the primary consanguineal. Okay. uh, Another is primary affinal. Primary affinal kinship refers to the direct relationship formed as a result of a marriage, where you can say it is directly the relationship between the husband and wife. Now, secondary consanguineal means refers to the primary kin of the primary kin. Okay, in other words, those who are directly related to the primary kin, that is primary kin's primary kin. Okay, that becomes one's secondary kin. Okay, that is, for example, you can see uh, son and um, um, and grandfather, or grandmother and daughter. So these kind of relationship is secondary consanguineal. Now secondary affinal means secondary affinal kinship refers to the one's primary affinal kin's primary kin. Okay, this kin relationship includes the relationship between an individual and all their in-laws relationship. Now sister-in-laws, brother-in-laws, or father-in-law, the kind of relationship where father-in-law, daughter-in-law, father-in-law, son-in-law. So these kind of relationship exist in the secondary or final. Now tertiary consanguineal. Tertiary consanguineal is the third degree. where refers to the primary kin or to the secondary kin of the primary kin, okay, or the primary kin of the secondary kin, where you can say in an individual, okay, an individual having the relationship with the mother's brother, or you can say an individual mm, having the relationship with the auntie or the uncle, maternal uncle or the paternal uncle. Okay, is it clear? For instance, son having a relation with the having a relation with the mother, if it is from the mother's side, mother's brother, or the mother's sister, okay, that is aunt or uncle, okay. And tertiary or final means it is again that is in the third degree, but in within the in-laws side, okay, where the daughter-in-law having a relation with the mother-in-law's sister or the mother-in-law's brother, okay. So that is the tertiary or final. So let's move on to the another slide, that is rule of descent. Descent refers to the social recognition of the biological relationship that exists between the individuals, okay, and often descent refers to the ancestral background as well. So patrilineal out here descent are of three types: patrilineal, matrilineal, and bilateral. Okay, patrilineal descent trace through traces through the father's line, okay, and also known as agnatic or patrilineal kin. Matrilineal, it traces through the mother's ancestors and it follows the mother's line, okay, and it is also known as uterine or the matrilineal kin. And lastly, it is bilateral, that means where some of the society, some of the culture or the society follows both the lines, okay, both the traces, both the ancestors or both the lines, that is patrilineal also and matrilineal also. An example is Yako of Nigeria, okay. Now, kinship usages. Why kinship is important? What is the purpose of kinship usages? First one is to create group or special grouping or kinship, okay. First one is to create group among the kin. Another is very important, it governs the role of the relationship among the kin, okay. Now each and every individual has a certain status, and according to that status an individual has to play a role within their status, okay. For instance, a daughter has to play the role, a daughter-in-law has to play their own role, mother-in-law likewise, many an individual has to play a certain role according to their statuses. So likewise, each and every individual has their own role to play, and kinship sees this, and kinship plays a role over here. It governs the role of the relationship among the kin. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. That is the types of the kinship usages. First one is rule of avoidance. Okay, the avoidance means to avoid. Okay, so means avoidance means the two kins, especially normally the opposite sex, okay, that means male and female, should avoid each other. Out here they have given numerous examples where I have taken a few. Amongst the EU kafir, the son-in-law is not supposed to see the face of his mother-in-law, okay. Likewise in Hindu culture also, daughter-in-law are supposed to wear ghungat, okay, where they have to hide their face with small scarf, or with their sari, where they they can't show their face in front of their father-in-law or their elders. Okay, it is a sense of respect also, and it is a kind of rule of avoidance also. They are avoiding the opposite sex. Now another is joking relationship. It involves a particular combination of friendliness and antagonism between individual and group in certain social situations. Okay, out here also they have given numerous examples where I have taken up few, that is Crow Indians and Oraos. Okay, among Oraos they have talked about the relationship between the grandmother and granddaughter or grandson, grandfather and granddaughter and grandson. Okay, where they have a joking relationship, whereas in Crow Indians they have a they have a relationship between the brother-in-law and sister-in-laws. Okay, and in joking relationship they even have they even are allowed to have an open discussion about the sexual matters, and also they can mock each other. So that is a joking relationship, and it is also one part of the kinship usages. Another is technonymy. Technonymy is a kin, is not referred to directly but is referred to through another kin. Okay, now in Hindu, now out here example is given Hindu tradition and Hopi tribe. Now out here in many a times you all have seen, and I think many of you have encountered also, you know mother calling father not by his name but by their baby's name. Okay, like for instance Bittu ke papa. Okay, or Ramu ke papa. Why? Because they are not supposed to call their husband's name. Okay, they are forbidden to do so. So that is technonomy. Okay. Now next one is avunculate. This refers to the special relationship that permits in some societies between a man and a woman, and his or her mother's brother. Okay, in Latin word, that is taken from the Latin word avunculus, that is mother's brother. Okay, out here the special permission or special power is given to the mother's brother, and this is very much you know popular among the again in the northeast, that is among the Khasis. Okay, uh, where the mother's brother are given the special powers, where they have a they can look they look after the property rights, and they they look after the property rights of the that particular family. Okay, so they give that special power to the mother's brother, that is known as avunculate. Okay. Mm, another is imitate. It is usages which give special role of the father of to the father's sister. Now it is just opposite out here. Imitate in imitate what happens out here, the special power or the special role is given to the father sister, and at times it is the more respect is given to the the mother, father's sister, than the mother. And the name of the child is kept by the father's sister only, and this is common among the Todas of Nilgiri and Crow Indians. Now, the last one is Kawit. This kinship involves only husband and wife, and that is among the Khasis and Todas. And this is a quite interesting one, because while while wife is in Kawit, what happens is when wife is in her pregnancy stage. Okay, so whatever she eats, or whatever she is forbidden to eat. Okay, the husband has to go through the same thing. The thing is, whatever the wife the thing is, whatever the wife goes through the stage, husband has to empathize with the wife, and even he has to do the same thing what wife does. So in covid, it will the belief system is husband has to do the same thing as wife does, in her the phase of the pregnancy. So that is the cow weight, that is common among the Khasis and Totas. So with this, uh, I end my lecture. I hope you like my lecture. I liked my lecture. Thank you so much.